Hey everybody, and welcome back to another lecture with Coding with Roby. And in this lecture, we're going to be going over the Git basics. So let's dive in. If we remember correctly, we are starting with version 1, which includes the math functions with the function of addition. After we commit the first version, we will start on the second version. Commit our second version to get our third version, and we'll be able to go back and check out different versions of the same code base. So in this section, we'll be learning about Git basics and how to utilize the Git version control. So what are some of the Git commands that we're going to be going over? Well, let's start by learning git init. Before using Git on a project, we must start by initializing a Git repository on the project and root directory. To be able to do this, we need to go to the root directory of the project and type git init. After initializing a project, all of our files within the project are all currently unstashed, which means we do not have a temporary snapshot of the current updated files. To stash or stage the files, or in other terms allow Git to do a temporary snapshot, we will be using the git add dot command. This will add all files of the application from a non-staged area to a Git staging environment. After we add the files to the Git staging area, we need to commit the files to complete the transaction for version control. So again, we move the files from the Git staging area to a commit. To do this, we need to do the git commit -m command, and the -m stands for message. So within quotation marks, we state the message that we are committing. This is for human understanding. When they look at past commits, they know exactly what that commit was for. Now let's do some version control within our application. When you commit your code, Git will give you a commit number that identifies the commit. When you want to revisit a past commit, we do a git checkout with the commit number. When you do this, we move our version to the commit version we are wanting to check out. We will be also going over git log. When we do a command of git log, Git will show all commits associated with the branch we are on, which will display all the Git commits that we are able to check out along with all messages and authors attached to each commit. So let's take a look at a high-level view of our Git Basics project. We will start by creating a new empty directory called Python Git Basics. We will then git init our Python Git Basics to initialize a Git repository. Within our Python Git Basics, we will create a new Python file called main.py, which is able to print hello world. After we add the main.py file and the print code statement, Git will see our file as an unstaged file and code. To stage our code, we need to type in the command of git add dot. This command will stash everything we currently have in the directory. After everything is staged, we will want to commit all of the code. To commit the code to make a version control, we need to do a git commit -m, and within double quotation marks, state what we want to say. And in this example, we're going to say first commit. Again, this is so we understand exactly what the commit is doing, and oftentimes the first commit of a project is always called first commit. And after this, our first commit will be complete for our project. After our first commit, we will create a second commit right after. We will add new code to our main.py file within our Python Git Basics. The new code will print 2 + 2. Now, of course, this code doesn't really do too much, but for our first try with Git, we're trying to make the code extremely easy to understand. Now that we added new code, our code is unstaged. Again, let's do a git add dot to stash our code changes. And now that our code is staged, we need to commit our changes. We can do this by doing a git commit -m with our message being added addition functionality. After this, our second commit is now complete. So now within our app's version control, we now have two different commits. Now that we have commits added to our code, let's view our commits. We can view all of the commits by typing git log. After typing git log, we can see all of our commits with information present with each one. Each commit will come with a commit ID, author, and the message we added during the commit. We can see in this example that there are two commits, the latest commit being added addition functionality, with our very first commit just simply saying first commit. Since the last thing we committed was the added addition function, that is currently where the head of our code is. To do version control, we can type git checkout AA, BB, CC, DD, EE, and then 1 through 7, just so we can switch back to the first commit. After we do this command, our head, which is what we can see, is going to switch to that commit, which will remove everything we added for the added addition functionality. Now I know this was a bunch of information for, the first round of us learning the Git basics, but let's go see this in practice where it may make way more sense. This wraps up this lecture, and I will see you in the next video.